A great recurring trope that we love covering on this show are real-life cryptids. Not Bigfoot, not the Loch Ness Monster or anything like that. I'm talking about cryptids like those creepy clowns from a few years back, or that guy over in England who prowls the streets at night in a gimp suit, or all the various early morning joggers across the world who poop on people's lawns and manage to evade capture.
Yeah.
Like Bigfoot, you only see like a sort of brief silhouette of them.
Yeah.
You know they were there because of the poop, but it could have been anyone.
It's simply too early in the morning for any investigations.
This week, we're going to talk about a new real-life cryptid that has emerged up north in Santa Cruz, California, who, it turns out, despite making headlines recently, actually has quite a bit of backstory lore.
Is this in any way tied into the mystery spot? Please tell me it is.
Is that the place from Nope?
It's the place where all the bumper stickers, the yellow bumper stickers.
I've never been.
It's a gravitational anomaly, I believe.
No.
I
don't think it does.
I'm not going to spoil it, but there's a trick to it. Anyways, you'll find out. But we are talking about the creepy Cookie Monster. So everyone knows Cookie Monster. He's the Muppet on Sesame Street who loves eating cookies. And actually, that's not entirely accurate. In recent years, we regret to inform you and the hosts of whatever Fox News show you're watching that Sesame Street has, of course, gone woke and made the Cookie Monster also express an affinity for vegetables.
Ugh.
But still, he is a beloved children's TV character.
Despite his proclivities.
Yeah, and it's not like anyone's like, you know, you hear Cookie Monster, you just picture the cookies
Nom,
going in.
nom.
Yeah. Unfortunately, when it comes to the man recently seen prowling the Santa Cruz Wharf, C is not for cookie. C is for creepy. And police are strongly urging the public to not engage with the Cookie Monster.
Yeah, here's KSBW Action News. Creeped out and uncomfortable is what visitors on the Santa Cruz Wharf are feeling after encountering a man dressed in a Cookie Monster costume. The man is believed to badger people and aggressively yell. "It's the creepy monster, not the Cookie Monster," Scotty, a Santa Cruz Wharf visitor, said. "We saw him at the beginning at the wharf. At first glance, it just seemed like maybe it would be fun to do a selfie with him, but we were away from him, and then we went to the back of the wharf by the deadlines, and that's when we saw him coming out, making a commotion and getting in people's faces," Michelle Roberts, wharf visitor, said. "I saw him on the day the Sesame Street creator died. Like I told you, he was sad about that. He kept showing up and people started complaining about him," Mark, a wharf employee, said.
Well, there you go. It was just a reaction to the Sesame Street creator dying.
He seems to be taking it real hard.
Yeah, I mean, this is new for people in Santa Cruz. This is nothing new for the residents of Hollywood, California.
It is.
And the visitors to the Chinese theater.
This mostly got my attention because I'm like, this is a very regular occurrence here. And also, weirdly, in recent years, Las Vegas has had their own share of these these knockoff, street
New York
performers.
City has them as well.
Times
Not
Square.
as violent, but...
But I'm like, why is this news? Like, a street performer, being kind of nuts.
Well, they do.
Gosh.
They tend to embrace it up there in Northern California, much like the Bushman in San Francisco, who was a local legend for quite some time, though, as far as I know, didn't actually assault anyone. Was just into spooking people.
He just had one simple trick.
Yeah, surprising people. Mm-hmm. So from the sound of it, this Cookie Monster hasn't actually committed any crimes and has just been creepy and annoying, which isn't a crime. So it is a bit odd that news of the creepy Cookie Monster has found its way into news outlets, not only across the U.S., but across the world. Everyone's looking for a bone. Please,
yes,
something fun. But it's a bit less odd when you learn about the Cookie Monster's past. For starters, and this is true, the man in the Cookie Monster costume is Adam Sandler.
What?
I know, very shocking. How could Adam Sandler do this? Well, it is, of course, a different Adam Sandler.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, but here's some background on this guy from the SF Gate.
Sandler, then called Dan or Danny Sandler in press coverage, became notorious as a street performer in San Francisco's Fisherman's Wharf in the early 2010s. Local business owners and tourists complained Sandler was making the area feel unsafe. In 2014, he was arrested for allegedly threatening an SF food vendor, reportedly shouting, "I'm gonna rip your throat out," at her. He goes on rants and raves and accuses people of conspiracy theories, said Troy Campbell, then executive director of the Fisherman's Wharf Community Benefit District at the time. He frightens visitors and locals. Whatever business he's in front of has a horrible day.
So they also point out that despite his current persona as the Cookie Monster, Adam Sandler previously gained infamy dressed as Elmo, earning him the nickname Evil Elmo. And the San Francisco Chronicle provides a little more backstory on that time that he got arrested in Fisherman's Wharf. San Francisco police arrested Sandler in November 2014 after he confronted a shop owner who had placed a anti-Elmo sign in her window.
No Elmos.
When the merchant refused to take it down, he reportedly threatened her, saying, "I'm going to rip your throat out."
Just Elmo with a big
null
old
sign?
No.
Hey,
What the hell is that?
That's
me.
And then he says this, and she's like, "That's the reason I put the sign
Do you
out."
see why? Elmo, come on.
I am tired of getting threatened by Elmos. So,
Elmo, if you don't stop, I'm going to tickle you. Anyway, here's the SF gate again. Sandler was also notorious in New York City, where he made the news for allegedly using anti-Semitic slurs while dressed as Elmo in Times Square.
damn, gets around.
He was arrested in 2013 for attempting to extort $2 million from his former employer, the Girl Scouts.
What?
Sandler was sentenced to a year in prison, and 2 female Girl Scouts employees he allegedly harassed were given permanent orders of protection. Quote, in some of his emails, Mr. Sandler demanded $2 million in cash and threatened to spread the false story that the Girl Scouts regularly arranged sexual encounters between men and its campers if he did not get the money, the New York Times reported.
Where did this guy get the job at the Girl Scouts?
I think,
Like they had to have just been, look, you're already standing out in front of this business.
listen, man, you
Sell
don't have
some tag-alongs.
You don't have to do this. I'm gonna be a good Samaritan. I'm gonna give you a job. It's like a job that's impossible
So easy.
to fuck up.
Yeah.
You just do like data entry or some
People
shit.
love these cookies. They sell themselves.
Yeah, it's a business that it's recession proof.
Yeah.
Just to get you off the street, I'm doing everyone a favor. I'm getting a higher place in heaven. All you got to do is not be fucking weird about it. And couldn't do it.
So in addition to San Francisco, New York, and Santa Cruz, he's also been making people uncomfortable in Hawaii and here in Los Angeles, with an LAPD detective saying in 2016, just here in the last 6 months, we've had quite a few problems with him. This guy is like a national nuisance. Wow. And this is how you know this guy's a problem. Hollywood Boulevard, like we said, is absolutely swarming with dozens of costume characters who will threaten to murder you if you take their picture and don't give them a generous tip.
Yeah.
But Adam Sandler still manages to warrant a write-up in the LA Times.
Yeah. I mean, if they were writing about every costumed character who threatens to murder people, I mean, there'd be nothing else to write about. The LA Times would just be all Hollywood Boulevard freaks all the time. So the fact that this guy garnered a write-up in the local paper of record.
It sounds like, aside from the creepy, annoying, potential assault, and general negativity coming out of this guy, he's living a pretty sweet life.
Yeah, and he
See the country and the world.
Life on the road. Yeah, he's been to more states than I have in the last couple of years.
This is why international outlets are covering it. They're saying, "Oh, please don't come here."
Yeah.
Oh, wink, wink.
I got something tells me this guy doesn't have a passport, but I mean, yeah, if he does, I mean, he travels around by van. I don't know how he got to Hawaii. That's an interesting one, but yeah, Canada and Mexico, look out.
Yeah. Like
Can
I said,
can you imagine being threatened with murder by a Muppet, a man-sized Muppet?
I can, because I have had to take friends and family to Hollywood Boulevard.
Yeah.
And I mean, it actually has been a little while. Maybe I'm just not paying attention, but there was a big story like 10 years ago about, I believe, an Elmo and Spider-Man getting into it.
Yeah,
They would go behind the coffee bean and fight it out.
they're hostile to pedestrians, and they're also hostile to each other.
They do not like each other.
Yeah, because you can only take so many selfies.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, is they're kind of fighting over space.
Yeah.
And also the guys that sell blank CDs that they say are their albums.
Yeah. Your best advice is don't go to Hollywood Boulevard. It's not very good.
It sucks.
I mean,
they try their best to make it Times Square, but it's not.
Once a year, I'll see a movie at the Chinese theater because it's actually a good theater.
It's gigantic.
But I get in and I get out. I do not linger. I don't make eye contact with fucking anyone.
Straight to the parking garage.
Yeah.
There's so much more
Don't
to
go
LA.
to Hollywood. It sucks. It fucking sucks. And don't go to Times Square. It's really easy to avoid evil Elmo and creepy Cookie Monster and the like by just not going. Like Fisherman's Wharf too. That's the Times Square of San Francisco.
It is.
I've never been to the Santa Cruz Wharf. I don't know about that, but I would assume it falls in the same category of like, if you're there, you're kind of asking for it.
I mean, yeah, when I went to Santa Cruz, I went to like skate shops and the mystery spot just because I'd seen the bumper stickers. But yeah, I tend to avoid those places. There's much more interesting places around. You get your picture one time and you leave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, speaking of real life cryptids, a few years back, the city of Tempe, Arizona, was besieged by a vandal known only as Penis Man, who earned that moniker by writing Penis Man in various public places, with at least 40 separate Penis Man taggings in December 2019 alone. Prolific. Local news reported on Penis Man's antics, which only seems to have emboldened him, leading to brazen taggings at places like Tempe City Hall, right there on the doors. Eventually, some narc spotted Penis Man mid-tagging and called the cops, who traced the taggings to a man named Dustin Schomer, whose home was raided by over 24 SWAT officers.
Seems excessive.
And who was threatened with decades in prison for his crimes.
Very excessive.
Yeah, come on.
We never checked in on Penis Man's legal situation after that, but thankfully, what ended up happening was far less severe than what prosecutors were threatening, which is good. He was sentenced to 3 years of supervised probation, 500 hours of community service, and an $8,000 fine for the damages he caused. Still a bit excessive.
Yeah, but...
not a draconian punishment, but still enough to make most people give up the Penis Man lifestyle.
Yeah, it ain't worth it.
And yet, somehow, Penis Man lives on. He has returned.
Somehow, Penis Man returned.
Here's the Phoenix New Times from last week.
After a prolonged hiatus, the Valley's own virile vandal, Penis Man, or Penis Men, depending on who you ask, may have returned to erect new art in Phoenix. The counterculture icon of 2020, who scrawled their enigmatic tagline, Penis Man, across all manner of structures, has penetrated a new area beyond the tag's origins in Tempe. Like Indiana Jones finding cave art in Raiders of the Lost Ark, we noticed the unforgettable Penis Man catchline scribbled on the lid of a garbage can just outside the Green Woodpecker Bar at Park Central in Midtown in late January.
What's going
So
on?
it's no longer just Tempe, it's Greater Phoenix now.
Wow.
It's spreading.
So has Penis Man violated the terms of his parole to return to a life of crime? Well, hold on, not so fast. Dustin Schomer himself claimed at the time of his arrest that he was not the only Penis Man in town, and I believe him.
Yeah.
Especially when it starts getting press, and the main thing is when people are upset by it, that's going to cause other people to do mimicry.
Yeah, I mean, it's like the Riddler. I mean, you had the Paul Dano Riddler, but then, like, by the end of the movie, spoiler alert, there's like 100 Riddlers.
Yeah.
Because, it's the message, not the man.
And he even, the guy, Dustin, he even claimed that he himself was just a copycat and that the original Penis Man was still out there. The Phoenix New Times also received photos and videos from a masked individual claiming to be the true Penis Man, who said they were going to send the newspaper a Penis Manifesto, though that never happened.
Penis Manifesto.
There has also been speculation that local musician Austin Knight of the band Waterparks is the real Penis Man. Oh, I have a loose connection to them, I should ask.
Oh, yeah. Oh, do you?
Yes.
You should.
Yeah.
You should inquire. I
think they deny it.
I think they're just memeing, but it is funny. Like, they're having fun with it.
Yeah, I have friends in their business circle.
Okay.
Yeah.
In any case, Penis Man is back, and we eagerly await more reports of Penis Man sightings. Sorry, Greater Phoenix. Penis Man is just part of the local lore now. You're going to have to deal with that. You cut down one penis, 10 penises rise in its wake.
That's the problem, is once this starts getting more press, it's only going to cause more copycats.
That was their mistake
the
first time around, like this Penis Man going wild or whatever, and then the local news is like, you're not going to believe this.
He's back.
You're not going to believe this. Someone is writing Penis Man all over town. Isn't that terrible? We hope no one else watches this news report about how hysterical we're being about this and also tags Penis Man. That would be crazy.
Yeah. Graffiti on public property. Cool crime.
Anyway, meanwhile, down in Brazil, here's some news that kind of ties today's first two stories together very nicely, perfectly, I might add. A man dressed as a giant 7-foot penis has been arrested by police after women complained he had been harassing them. Military police in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, arrested the man dressed as the giant phallus in the city center on Sunday for acting suspiciously. A picture of the arrest shows the man wearing an inflatable manhood costume and a pair of flip-flops being led away peacefully by an officer. Just the man's feet and rather glum face can be seen as the officer, with a baton tucked under his arm, takes him into custody. Carnival goers in the city told police he had been using his costume to chase women taking part in the city's parades, local media reported. And yeah, look at that. Wow, that is a tremendous, great photo of the Brazilian Penis Man being detained by police. It is a literal IRL bonk go to horny jail meme right there.
Are we sure that's not Jair Bolsonaro inside that penis costume?
No, this man is far too young and healthy looking.
Yeah, he's Bolsonaro is still in Florida, maybe?
I don't know, actually.
He might have been spotted at Gasparilla, which is like the Florida Mardi Gras.
Gasparilla?
Yeah, it's a pirate festival that aligns pretty closely with
a pirate festival?
Yeah, that's how Tampa was not founded, but found.
Yeah, I mean, I guess. So what happens at the Pirate Festival? Is there like floats?
Well, it used to be a lot more traditional and nice before all of the people took it over and turned it into a drinking festival.
Probably not even allowed to chase women around
in a penis costume
because the Pirate Festival's gone woke.
No, it's literally a boat parade with a lot of the boats being actual recreations of pirate ships with people hanging off of them drinking. I believe
that's pretty cool.
Well, I don't know if it was at Gasparilla or not, but it was around the time where Brady threw the Super Bowl trophy off the boat to a friend or to Gronk or vice versa. Mm-hmm. It's just the danger of a drunken parade on land just isn't enough for the residents of Florida. They've got to take it to the water, where the slightest problem could turn deadly.
Yeah,
but
that's cool.
It also goes through the streets of Ybor as well. It's a big thing. And it's their thing.
Does it get sloppy? Is it like SantaCon?
Yes, it gets extremely sloppy.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So if you ever want to go,
interesting.
Well, it's already passed this year, but they
Okay.
do love their pirates there. It's the Buccaneers. Hello.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, that's some new Florida lore that I didn't know about. Thank you.
You wonder why it's so crazy there.
It's people, they're. It's like how Australians, you can explain everything by their origins. Criminals. Florida.
Pirates.
Same thing. That's why they're all fucked up.
Some of the most incredible floats this year at the other, like the Carnival and Mardi Gras, there was I saw stuff that I was sure was created in like Blender or something, but was actually real. They get elaborate with it.
Well, they are good at something then.
No, I'm talking about all over, not just Florida.
Oh, okay, yeah. But speaking of Brazil, it's time to cover Brazil's most notorious export. George Anthony de Volder Santos, the world's most dishonest man. Mm-hmm. Every week, we think we've finally scraped the bottom of George Santos's barrel of lies. And yet, miraculously, we return each week to find the barrel of lies replenished.
Nevertheless.
With new lies.
Replenished.
And this week, we got a very special treat in the form of George Santos himself sitting down for an hour-long interview to set the record straight on all of his various lies, which ended up, of course, consisting of just new lies about the old lies.
No. Santos was interviewed by Piers Morgan on the show Piers Morgan Uncensored, which is notable in a few ways. Firstly, this is a show broadcast in the UK, not the US. George Santos is so internationally notorious that a major news show in a foreign country devoted an entire hour to him. Look at this freak!
The British...
we're talking about George Santos, not Piers Morgan. Yeah, well, they're both freaks, actually.
This is great, because, the British, they'll take any opportunity to be like, well, look how fucked up the politics in America are! Don't look over here!
This is like, their Boris Johnson. Mm-hmm. We lost Trump, so they basically have, the prominent people are Marjorie Taylor Greene and George Santos right now. So they're going to be doing an international press tour.
We should send them to England for extended periods of time.
They would love it, and the British would love it too.
I think we need to take Brexit even further.
Marjorie Taylor Greene would love what England has done to itself.
UK has had what you might call a national divorce with the EU.
Yeah, and they had one back in the 80s and 90s too.
Yeah, so I think she'd fit in well there.
The press. Put her on Graham Norton. I think that would be a real hoot. Right next to Chris Pratt and Christian Bale.
I don't want to see Marjorie Taylor Greene because the Graham Norton show, he gives them drinks. I don't want to, that seems dangerous.
Midge with a cocktail would be a little much.
Yeah. And it'd be some weird fucking cocktail that you can only get at Applebee's or some shit.
No, it'd be that weird one. Remember the one that we got in England that was tasted like cigars and tobacco?
Oh yeah, that was gross.
Yeah. It was named after the...
It's like the Winston Churchill.
Yeah, it was disgusting.
It was fucking nasty.
What are you guys doing over there?
We paid a lot. We didn't pay for it.
Yeah, the company paid for it.
Yeah, it was very expensive. Anyway, we're getting wildly off track here. We're talking about George Santos.
Maybe George Santos agreed to the interview because it's not broadcast in the U.S. The mental gymnastics there. But the show is available to watch in its entirety on YouTube, so... Oops.
Whoops.
Also, Piers Morgan is an absolute joke, so it's really a testament to how much George Santos sucks that Piers Morgan comes off looking like a respectable journalist in this interview.
He comes out of this looking pretty good at his job, which is hilarious because he sucks so fucking much.
Yeah. This might be a new path forward for him, being like, I'm only going to interview people that are more terrible than me so that I look good in comparison.
This man, Piers Morgan has been publicly owned by his interview subjects so many fucking times.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it makes sense. Like, because on his show, he's had like Andrew Tate on. Like, he's just had like bad people that he actually does have some degree of moral superiority to. It's pretty brilliant. He's finally found his niche. But yeah, anyways, Piers Morgan, intrepid journalist Piers Morgan, did manage to get Santos to admit on camera that he has been a, quote, terrible liar. Which, okay, that seems like a pretty big step. But of course, he admitted that with the caveat that he lied because of societal pressure, and also the only thing he really lied about was his education, and really only partially just the like graduate school part of it, and the rest was true.
Okay.
He told Morgan that he never lied about being Jewish and had been absolutely clear that he was merely Jew-ish. And yeah, as fact checkers have already repeatedly pointed out for the last fucking 2 months, Santos claimed multiple times during his campaign to literally be Jewish. He called himself, quote, a Latino Jew and, quote, a proud American Jew whose grandparents survived the Holocaust. All lies. He also told Morgan that when he spoke before the Republican Jewish Coalition, that he clearly said he was Jewish and that everyone laughed and clapped, even though there is literally C-SPAN footage of that speech, and neither of those things are true. You can watch it. The clip's right there.
Wow. So Santos also claimed in the interview that he did, in fact, attend the elite New York prep school that has publicly confirmed they have no record of his attendance, and said it must be because he attended under one of his aliases. Though the school also definitely checked if George DeVolder or Anthony DeVolder had attended, and found that whoever he is did not attend.
Yeah, no, he really, we're serious, he didn't go here.
Santos admitted that he lied about getting a master's degree, but then also claimed that he has no idea where people got the idea that he lied about taking the GMAT, even though his official resume lists a fake GMAT score.
Yeah, I guess that's like the LSATs for business freaks.
I've never seen someone so perfect for a Billy Madison situation, where he
has to go back to school.
But to this illustrious prep school, and actually pass everything.
He should, and he should have to go to Hebrew school too.
Yes, he needs to.
He needs to do the full, the absolute slog of work you have to do to like get your bar mitzvah, where you have to like learn a bunch of fucking Hebrew.
If he does this, I'll be the first one there to lift him up on that chair.
Yeah, and then he has to dig up his mom and put her body in the Twin Towers. Well,
as a sign of respect.
Maybe not that.
Into the fountain that remains there. Yeah.
Anyway, Santos was also asked about pocketing the money from that GoFundMe that he set up for that homeless man's veteran sick dog, which ended up untreated and dead because Santos didn't give the money. And he continued to deny everything, despite his name being listed multiple places online in relation to that GoFundMe years before anyone knew who the fuck he was. Mm-hmm. And he continued to lie about his mom being at the World Trade Center on 9/11, despite Piers Morgan pointing out that there is in fact a list of all the people who were there. An official list. This was a kind of a big deal. We know who was there. And George's mom, his mom's not on it. Not on the list.
I do like that by still refuting these lies that are easily provable, he must mentally walk away and go, well, I'm glad that's over with. We've cleared the air.
That's settled.
Now I'm never going to be asked about this again.
Smooth sailing from here.
Yeah.
You really aced that interview, George.
Yes! Time to go to the West End and see a musical.
You really owned Piers Morgan. Add my name to the list of people who publicly owned Piers Morgan.
Whew! So yes, there's too much stuff from the interview to list, but basically he admitted to being a liar and then just doubled down on every single lie that he's told. It's a truly frustrating and fascinating hour of television, and meanwhile, more new lies have come to light. For example, this week, Politico uncovered the fact that despite George Santos' campaign claiming in FEC filings that they had donated thousands of dollars to local Republican groups and other Republican candidates, which the supposed recipients claim to have never received, that's kind of an oopsie. Yeah. Also, even if the money had been actually donated, some of it would have been in amounts that exceed the legal limits for what campaigns are allowed to donate to each other, so that's another oops.
Even in his lies, he did something illegal.
Okay, so let's take these lies at face value. Sir, you've committed a crime.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be his undoing. Like, this man's FEC records are just like filled with so many lies that it's going to be like an IRS audit that takes 5 years. There's just too much to sort out. He'll already be done with his 2-year congressional term by the time he actually faces any criminal proceedings for the actual criminal stuff he did here.
But I do love that he's sitting on Piers Morgan, just digging the hole deeper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty remarkable. Politico also reported this week that back in 2017, George Santos testified during a bail hearing for a friend of his who was charged with ATM skimming fraud, and that George Santos told the judge that he worked for Goldman Sachs, which was a lie then, and it was a lie more recently. Yeah. It's a lie that's apparently been in his wheelhouse for a while. He's had that one in his back pocket for years. My employer, Goldman Sachs.
It would have been so funny if these lines crossed, because there was a news article yesterday, it was an update of that Oxy media company.
Ozzy!
That lied to...
he used like a voice modulator to like...
say he was a person from
Google. Pretend to be like the head of the chief content officer at YouTube or something.
Yeah.
On a phone call with like Goldman Sachs trying to like get them to invest, like literally committing fraud.
Yeah, and so the CEO, the other guy was arrested and charged with fraud, but now the CEO of that company was arrested and charged with fraud. And it would have been so funny if both ends were playing each other. Like it's George Santos on the other end being like, yes, I'd like to invest in your media company.
Yeah. Oh man, I forgot about Ozzy Media. That was another very successful grift that just fell apart as soon as anyone took even like the slightest scrutiny to what they were saying. Yeah. Forgot about that.
Yeah. Anyways, it would have been great if they had crossed paths, but unfortunately, not yet.
And then there was this from this week, from Insider. On Thursday, Santos tweeted that he wanted to personally thank Josh LaFazan, a member of the Nassau County Legislature in New York, for stopping by his office in Douglaston, Queens for a chat. It was great to sit down and discuss the concerns that were addressed in the letter he brought in, Santos wrote. But just 50 minutes later, LaFazan responded on Twitter accusing Santos of mischaracterizing the nature of the meeting, which he said was actually a protest. Let's be very clear, I did not stop by your office, LaFazan wrote. I hosted a protest outside your office calling on you to resign, and then hand-delivered you a letter to stop wasting police resources. Had a great chat with these guys.
Did Santos give him some cupcakes afterwards?
That would have been nice.
Because he did do that for the press.
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone ate them or not, but...
I wouldn't eat a goddamn thing this man handed me.
No.
Absolutely not. There's some weird club drugs in that I'm... Like, the hospital's not going to be able to revive me because they don't have the antidote.
Elliot, it's simple flea and tick medication. It's nothing serious. It's just what he got from the Amish to take care of the many puppies that he's, getting adopted.
He does have a lot of puppies.
Yeah. So before we move on to the headlines half of this show, we got to take a second and let you know that this episode is sponsored by Athletic Greens. We both take AG1 by Athletic Greens every morning because it solves a very annoying problem. Getting all of the vitamins and minerals that your body needs without having to buy a bunch of different supplement pills that you have to remember to take every morning. AG1 is just one scoop of powder in water, and it tastes great and it makes you feel good.
It can be hard to know where to even start with supplements or who to trust, but AG1 makes that so much easier. Why take a bunch of different things when you can just mix one scoop of powder in water once a day? AG1 was designed with ease in mind, making it easy to cover your nutritional bases every day. Every scoop is packed with 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, and whole food-sourced ingredients which support your immune system, digestion, mood, energy, and even your hair, skin, and fingernails.
AG1 has quickly become just as important as that first cup of coffee for us. If you're looking for an easier way to take supplements, Athletic Greens is giving you a free 1-year supply of vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. So go to athleticgreens.com/weird. That is athleticgreens.com/weird. Check it out.
And because green is our favorite color, this episode is sponsored by Green Chef. Green Chef is a CCOF certified meal kit company. Green Chef makes eating well easy with plans to fit every lifestyle. Whether you're keto, paleo, vegan, vegetarian, gluten-free, or just looking to eat more balanced meals, Green Chef offers a range of recipes to suit your preferences.
Green Chef has expanded their menu. Now choose from 30-plus recipes weekly with the option to mix and match meals from different dietary preferences in the same box without changing your plan, i.e. order vegan one day, keto the next. Fill up with Protein Packed, their newest collection of recipes fit for a high-protein dietary preference. Choose from 3 weekly menu items, each including 40 proteins per serving on average. You can expect a variety of satisfying and flavorful recipes like Greek chicken salad with mint olive tapenade, enchilada spiced turkey bowls, and almond-crusted barramundi.
Shake off winter with delicious, easy-to-follow recipes that support your healthy lifestyle and taste good too. I've been kind of blown away by the way that every meal I've gotten from Green Chef has been absolutely delicious. While still being healthy, I really like the Mediterranean ones.
Oh yeah, that Mediterranean diet.
Yeah, it's everything I like. And Green Chef is now owned by HelloFresh, another one of our sponsors. So with a wider array of meal plans to choose from, there's something for everyone. Go to greenchef.com/weird60 and use code weird60 to get 60% off plus free shipping. Again, that is 60% off plus free shipping by going to greenchef.com/weird60 and using code weird60.
All right, time to get into the weirdest, craziest headlines from around the world this week, starting with Roald Dahl children's books rewritten to delete references to fat and ugly characters.
Oh, it's so much more than that too. And this is so fucking annoying because all these like conservative anti-woke culture war people are like latching on this and like, look what the libs did this time. It's like, no one fucking asked for this.
Nope.
Literally no one asked for this. Also, the publisher, the owner of the intellectual property is the one that chose to do this. It could be one of those things that we like to talk about a lot, the preemptive self-cancellation.
Yeah.
But yeah.
They reread the books finally. They're like,
oh.
It's kind of mean to call someone fat.
This is literally a private company using their property as they see fit. It's
so funny too
kind of
because
fucked up, but like this is capitalism.
What's funny about this is like Roald Dahl was probably my favorite author as a child.
Oh yeah.
I actually read books in middle school and they were primarily Roald Dahl books, and look how I turned out.
Yeah, but I mean, like as ridiculous as a lot of these examples are, like there's literally. Like in The Witches, you know how the witches they all wear wigs because they're bald?
Yeah.
Like,
ooh,
they added...
Don't let Will Smith know.
They added a line being like, and you know, like...
It's fine that they're bald.
Yeah, some women, some women wear wigs. It's totally fine.
I'm going to take the more sinister look on this and say that this is the company doing it on purpose because just 2 days after it was announced that they're removing certain references or whatever in these books, literally in a time span that was too short to actually set anything up, they're like, you know what? We're gonna do the unedited collector's edition of all the books with, and guess what? They say fat and ugly in it, and you love it.
I wouldn't put it past him. That is a viable, like,
knowing that it would cause
that's some
marketing.
Like growth hack marketing for like 2023 is just being like, oh no, the woke mob has ruined our great products that you all love. What are we gonna do? And it's like, you know what? We're gonna say no to the woke mob, who definitely exists.
These ones say it has twice as many ugly characters in it.
But
this is like Ryan Holiday marketing the I hope they serve beer in hell by calling parents groups and being like, can you believe that this bookstore is selling this book? We should go there and protest.
But it's like Roald Dahl, so he literally, like, in his will, he gave his estate, like, he's like, change whatever you want, because even he, like, by the end of his life, had changed his own books, like, multiple times, because he's like, yeah, okay. Like, the Oompa Loompas were originally, like, black, like, little people from Africa, like, literal slaves. And, like, they're referred to as, like, Negroes in the book, and he later, like, I think when they were making the movie, they're like, all right, Roald, we're going to change a few things here.
Don't mind us.
The year is, like, 1972, but even now, it's like, this shit is,
outrageous.
But Roald Dahl also kind of fucking sucked. He was an extremely anti-Semitic, racist dude. Having said that, his books, I guess...
See, I didn't know any of that when I was a child.
Yeah, exactly. Like, how would you? And, like...
Also,
I don't know. I like his books. I like the movies based on his books.
It is funny. Like, it's one of those things where you're like, what the fuck was I watching as a kid? Because I remember being terrified by witches when it came out.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He turns them into mice.
Well, the women, when they do the transformation.
Oh, some scary practical effects.
Yeah, like as bad as a horror movie, which I don't regret watching it. I think it was...
it did scare the shit out of me.
But it did scare the shit out of me.
Yeah, that was very scary.
And I would constantly confuse that movie, because of the turning the kids into mice, I constantly confused that movie with the mouse and the motorcycle. I was very confused.
Well.
He had a little helmet made out of a ping pong ball. Very cute.
Anyway, yeah, good news. The woke mob has been held at bay. Roald Dahl, now on sale, the uncensored Roald Dahl edition.
Yeah, the woke...
De-wokified.
The woke mob has been pushed aside and...
Roald Dahl uncanceled.
And the unwoke mob has been monetized.
I think you're right. I think this is all just marketing.
Because it was way too quick. It was like...
All right, well... Incredibly intelligent, highly elusive. U.S. faces new threat from Canadian super pig. I feel like we get one of these every 6 months or so. Like, oh, these Canadian pigs, you better watch out.
They're worse than your pigs, I tell you that much.
My favorite response to this is like...
These ones ride horses.
My favorite response was, actually, a Canadian super pig is called a Mountie.
I kind of just made that joke on my own, but yeah, it's the same joke. Yeah, we're talking about cops.
Yeah.
But what, are they just more aggressive? They got that syrup in them?
I don't fucking know. They're like...
You know how these pigs get when they get their syrup in them? Another great joke because in Super Troopers, they're cops.
Yeah. I guess they're like a crossbreed of, domestic pigs and boars or some shit. Oh, I think why is because like they're battle hardened from the Canadian winter.
True.
So that makes they're like way better at digging because in Canadian winter they fucking hibernate in like tunnels they dig.
And you would assume that their skin, their fur is tougher as well.
Yeah.
So you can't kill them. You have to have a full-on AR-15. Anything else is just gonna bounce off of
I
them.
saw something, I don't know how true this was, but it was like someone literally fired a .556 round from like an AR-15 style rifle at a feral hog. And the first round hit it like in the fat and didn't even penetrate past the skin.
I told you,
like,
we were wrong. We were wrong.
They eventually got it and they showed like a picture of it. It's just like this giant fucking bullet and like just stopped. Like these things have like natural Kevlar. It's wild.
That's why you need the big military gun to protect your family.
Yeah, I mean like .556 clearly not enough. What else you got? 50 cal.
Nuke from orbit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, be careful out there. The Canadian pigs, the Canadian bacon.
Yeah, these Canadian pigs. Don't let the name fool you. They are not polite.
No, not
They'll
at all.
tear up your lawn.
South Florida pregnant inmate seeks release, saying unborn baby is innocent of crimes.
Your Honor, I rest my case.
My actual human is being illegally detained.
This is a great finesse of Florida's and I guess half the country's like insane legal theories. But it's also like, if you're pregnant and you're in prison, it sounds like this lady actually is not getting like the proper health care.
Yeah.
And regardless of whether you believe a fetus is a person or not, actually, especially if you think a fetus is a person, you would want this woman to be getting the best possible health care. But apparently she is not. So her lawyers are testing out this groundbreaking case. Your Honor, this child, this human child, this person is being unlawfully detained.
Has done nothing wrong.
Yeah. So what are you going to do?
These are the type of cases that justifiably make a mockery of these stupid fucking laws.
Yeah.
It's the type of stuff that the Satanic Temple does very well. And by the way, they're still doing their after-school Satan Club. They were screening Fern Gully recently.
Yeah.
Which is a great movie to show specifically for their cause.
Yeah. They're so fun.
They do good work.
A proposed bill in Florida would ban dogs from hanging their heads out of car windows.
I don't think this will pass. People love it too damn much. They put their sunglasses on these dogs as they hang out the window.
Come on, this Florida, you got the sun out.
Yeah.
Sun out, tongues out.
The dog with the world's longest tongue would love it, except the back of the whole car would be soaked by the end of the ride.
It is weird, Florida, many extremes. Like this feels like something one of those California liberals would try to do.
Also, like, as another bonkers comparison with automotive law in Florida, you can legally ride a motorcycle without a helmet there.
Yeah.
But they're going to ban dogs from sticking their heads out the window?
I don't think this is going to pass.
No, I don't think so either.
And especially they're like, not only can a dog stick its head out of the window, but you have to like have a fucking road crate for a dog while you're transporting it. And it's like, I have 2 dogs. There's no fucking way I would do that.
Yeah. It's going to give them more anxiety. They love hanging their head out the window.
They love it. They want to smell that air. They want to see what's going on.
You just got to be careful. You don't want a hereditary situation happening.
No,
but this is another weirdly timed bill because it came out the same time that bill that's being proposed where anyone can sue anyone else for calling them a bigot.
God, yeah, I haven't looked into that too much, but like
it's mainly for suing news organizations.
The actual lawyers that I follow on Twitter are just like, yeah, this would make like calling someone racist illegal,
and they could sue you for a minimum of $35,000 based on religious protections. And it sounds like another case for the Satanic Temple, who can just say it's their religion to call people bigots.
Yeah, it seems ripe for trickery.
Yeah, these are just proposed bills, by the way. But yeah, it's another just what is going on in Florida?
A lot of proposals happening in this country right now that are very interesting.
Yeah, well, DeSantis backs this one, and with they are positioning it as the common man being able to sue news organizations for reporting on the way they're positioning is weird, but it's so broad.
But that's weird because it's like local news organizations are already pretty uptight about being libelous. I don't. What news organizations are being like, the man who is racist said this?
This is also
that's not how fucking reporting.
It's also a really fucked up week too for this to be proposed because a news on-site journalist was just murdered in Orlando for covering a previous murder.
Yeah.
It's Florida. What's going on over there?
They need another pirate festival. If they have a pirate festival every month, that would I think that would do them some good.
Yeah, they just released all their steam, and now this. Yeah. What are we doing?
And speaking of Florida, Florida is considering a classical and Christian alternative to the SAT, which I hope they fucking do this. It'll be so funny if everyone who got any education in Florida was no longer able to go to college in any other state except Florida because they literally took some fake SAT that wasn't the real thing, and colleges literally won't let them in because they don't meet the minimum standards. I think that would be hilarious, and they should do it.
But why would they care? Why would you ever want to leave such a beautiful place like Florida, right?
I mean, that does seem to be kind of what they're going for with this.
They are isolating themselves from the rest of reality in very strange and aggressive ways. Don't think it's going to turn out great, but like I said, I've been trying to keep an eye on it. I do subscribe to the local news there. Keep an eye on all of the local elections and local school board stuff that's going on there, because it is really, really fucked up. Look into Michael Flynn and what he's doing in Florida.
Oh, good, that guy. Mm-hmm. General Michael Flynn.
Disgraced general.
The general.
Yeah. New Idaho bill would criminalize anyone administering COVID-19 mRNA vaccines.
Oh, this is a fun one. I have no idea what this one's chances of passing are.
Probably pretty good.
I don't know anything about Idaho, but I know they do have one of the lowest vaccination rates in the country. So, yeah, fuck it. Send a bunch of CVS employees to prison for administering the fucking Pfizer COVID vaccine. Sure.
Look, it's a beautiful state. The people are ugly, but the state is beautiful.
They got ugly souls.
That's what I mean, of course.
Yeah.
Coeur d'Alene's in Idaho, right?
I believe so.
You got to American up that name, first of all. It's all spelled all goofy like it's French.
Coeur d'Alene sounds like some surrender-loving
we spell it C-H-O-R-D Lane. Now get out.
Coeur d'Alene sounds a little bit gay.
Yeah.
A little bit gay. Governor Tate Reeves unsure whether providing mothers health care would help their health. This is he's the governor of Mississippi. He's that guy that's 50, but looks like he might also be 12. He's got that weird thing going on. So they're another state that's abortion is pretty much fucking illegal. So you know what? We're going to make sure to take care of the women who are pregnant. And then people are like, okay, then you should give them money so they have more than a fucking week off maternity leave. And he's like, well, I don't know if that would really. Would that help them?
Unsure.
Meanwhile, they're asking for $7 million for every pregnant total for every pregnant woman in Mississippi. And he's like, I don't know. Meanwhile, they're giving twice that much to those crisis pregnancy centers that are just literally
Christian call centers?
Yeah, well, they're literally designed to trick people into thinking that they're abortion clinics so that you show up and they're like, haha, well, actually, have you heard about Jesus?
Oof. I don't know if there's a way out of this. This is
what a country.
Yeah. Flight from Auckland lands 16 hours later in Auckland.
I've done that flight. It is long. Even a direct flight from LA to Auckland was rough.
Yeah.
So the idea of spending 16 hours on a plane and ending up right back where we started, I think I would
Pretty upset.
I'd be pretty upset. Yeah.
Dang upset.
This all happened like they were going to New York City. They were like literally in U.S. airspace when they got word that like one of the fucking breakers at JFK airport was broken. So like the lights on the runway didn't work and like, it's not going to be repaired for a couple days. And we don't have any room for you in any of the terminals. So they're just like, all right, well, turn around.
Wow.
Back to New Zealand.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Oof. I'm sure it worked out mathematically, but I can't imagine. They had to be running pretty low on fuel.
Yeah, I don't know how that worked. But yeah.
That is the longest flight, I believe. Or no.
Auckland to New York, it's either that or like London to like London to Sydney, I think might be the longest one.
I did, back when we were doing junkets, I did Wellington to Melbourne, Melbourne. Wellington to Melbourne, from Melbourne to LA, from LA to New York. In one trip.
God.
It was like 32 hours with layovers.
Yeah. Jesus.
Because you're flying from Wellington to Melbourne.
Those are not close.
It's like flying across the entire United States.
That's the long
and then you got to
distance.
fly, and it's even further than Sydney from LA. And then LA to New York is 5 or 6 hours.
That's it. When I went to the Philippines, I'm going again for next year, but I'm paying whatever it costs for the most direct route possible. Because when I went last time, it was like LA to Singapore to Seoul to one island in the Philippines to another island in the Philippines. It took, I think, like 30 hours
also,
total.
The roughest air down there.
Yeah.
In the southern hemisphere. Just throwing you around. Yeah. Former NFL star Chad Johnson says he saved money by living inside Cincinnati Bengals Stadium for 2 years. Smart.
Ocho Cinco. That's, yeah. I mean, honestly, like, this is weird, but like, this guy sounds better with money than 90% of like NFL recruits who end up fucking broke like within 5 years of retirement.
Yeah.
This guy, he is a model. Like, yeah, you know, we're making good money for like the 5 to 10 years we're here, and then after that, our bodies and brains don't work. So you kind of want to save the money for later.
Smart.
And one way you can do that is by illegally sleeping at the stadium.
Yeah, he walked so Kanye West could produce an album in a stadium too.
He walked so Elon Musk could run.
This is like, I've met a couple people like this, but there used to be a guy at Machinima that did this where he would only eat the $1 hot dog at 7-Eleven every day. It was like a $2 combo with a big gulp or whatever and a hot dog, and he would eat that every single day.
I mean, it probably adds up quite a bit.
But that's the thing is,
but at what
not
cost?
To get too personal about this person, but he also took fucking company stock in lieu of a pay increase.
Okay,
I can't imagine that turned out very well.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, so
no.
He did need those hot dogs at that bargain basement price. Oh. Also might pay the price later in life, depending on
There's a lot of
any
nitrates.
medical problems.
I mean, I ate like a 7-Eleven hot dog after school in high school for like a solid year. You get those like 3 p.m. after school munchies.
You had a child body. That you could do anything.
Yeah, exactly. As an adult, the thought horrifies me of doing that.
A smidge too much salt will send me off these days.
Woo! And final headline, rare blizzard warnings issued for Los Angeles area.
Yeah.
Things are getting weird, folks.
It was treacherous even getting to the office today.
It was terrifying driving in here tonight.
There's cars floating down the street currently.
The visibility is so bad that I, multiple times in my drive, was like, oh, there's the lane markers. I am literally in 2 lanes right now. I should pick a lane.
And the worst is, depending on where the water's going, people going the opposite direction on the highways, just splashing gallons of water to cars going the opposite direction. So it's a very fierce, intense kind of thing.
Hitting a pothole and just, whoa, kick.
But that's in like the basin.
Yeah.
Even the low-lying mountains are getting snow right now. Like there was someone that filmed
the
snow
Santa
on the
Monica
Hollywood.
Mountains.
The Hollywood sign was getting a dusting.
Yeah, dude, it's fucking weird. It's the first time this happened in like 35 years or something.
Yeah. It's pretty wild. And also, like, in where we're at now, it's like, it's not warm and raining. It is like 40 degrees and pouring down rain. So it's not snowing, but...
It could be colder, honestly, but, like, it's unpleasant. It's not a nice time to be outside.
No.
At all.
Not at all. And it's going to last until, what, Tuesday?
I don't know. The National Weather Service will let me know with their hysterical...
Oh my God! Yeah, we
Do
got
not go anywhere.
two messages today. I was out getting lunch. Everyone in the restaurant that I was getting lunch at was like, "Oh my God, should we leave?"
Yeah.
Because it was like, "Do not leave your home."
Yeah, it was extreme. I was like, could you be more specific?
The LA River looks like it'd be a blast to go doing some kayaking.
You would
right
literally die. Do not do that. Disclaimer, I want to be absolutely clear. Do not go near any fucking bodies of water in the state of California.
No.
Oh, look, the waves are supposed to get up to like 15, 16 feet. Do not surf those waves. You will die.
Get away from any hillside
If
that
you
might
don't
collapse.
die, you will be poisoned. That water is fucking filthy.
They hadn't even cleaned up the debris from the last flood
Yeah.
in the river, and now it's happening again. But I think they do have trash catchers now at the mouth, which is good, or at least they are
Long
deploying
Beach?
them. Yeah,
I would hope so.
yeah, because for forever, it's like, oh, it rained.
Like, oh, there's couches that's just floating on the beach.
It rained. Don't go in the water for 6 months.
Anyways, that's what we have to look forward to this weekend.
Whatever.
And that's our show.
Just gonna watch Shrinking. Great show on Apple TV. I'm enjoying it.
I don't know anything
Harrison
about that.
Ford and I can't remember any one of the other people's names, but he's great in it.
Harrison TV Ford. Never thought I'd see the day on all these shows now.
Yeah, he's great.
Wow.
Everyone else is great in it too.
Anyways, if you haven't watched our last episode about how Trump is just
The literal Trump train.
the Trump train is driving through East Palestine, Ohio, and not spilling chemicals. It's spilling victory.
I almost titled the video, I was unsure if people would get it, but I was so close to titling the video Trump Derailment Syndrome.
Well, that's good.
It's too good.
Maybe too deep.
Yeah, it would fly over a lot of heads, so I didn't do it. But I want to let everyone know that I did think about it.
Yeah, and also a recent tech news day where we talked about ChatGPT and how it sucks and is dumb.
And it's only getting worse, folks, because I'm sure we're going to have news next week, but Facebook has announced they're throwing their hat in the ring with the AI stuff, and I'm sure that it's going to go very well.
AI in the metaverse. Stay tuned.
Pretty cool, huh?
Yeah.
Bye.